Hi everybody, it's Nina the Baby Chick back on Facebook Live, and today we're talking about a birth plan. We're doing a birth plan workshop with the Ashmores on Twitter, the Ashmores blog, and Americord. Americord is also on Twitter and on Facebook answering questions, and we're excited to partner up together and talk about all things birth plan. So if any of you are expecting or have had a baby or know of someone expecting, this is definitely a video that we want you to participate in, because we want to hear your experience, what worked for you on your birth plan, because we're going to talk about when you should be completing your birth plan, all the things you should add on your birth plan, and how you should put it together. So anyway, guys, again, the Ashmore's blog is on Twitter answering questions. So she's sharing her experience. She's an experienced mama of 3. So she will be on there answering all of your questions, as will Americord. So we'd love for you guys to participate on Twitter and Facebook. Please add your comments and questions in the comments below, because yeah, this is a great workshop for you guys to feel really prepared for your births that are coming up. So we're excited to have you guys here. I have definitely some frequently asked questions about birth plans, so I made sure to have my list right here as well, because I want to make sure that we cover everything. Because again, you guys know I'm a birth doula, and I have helped over 200 families during their pregnancies and their births, and I've helped with pretty much all of their birth plans. So I am so excited to help you guys with yours as well and answer your questions. So yes, so let's get started. So the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to make sure that Mary Alice has the questions ready, and that she posts a link. If you go on my emails, Mary Alice, she got it. She's going to post the link on our comments below and pin it. So guys, what I'm really excited about is, normally with birth plans, I'm like, okay, we need to find a template. You have to, print it out, check things off, see what works for you. Then you're gonna have to retype it up and make the birth plan for you. But I'm really excited that Americord has made a interactive birth plan template for all of you, and for everyone that's watching today, you have exclusive first access to their interactive birth plan. And let me kind of tell you how it works. When you go on to their site, you'll fill out your information and they'll send you a link. And basically what it does is it asks you all the questions that you should be asking yourself on what you want in your birth plan and what's important to you for your delivery. So it's going to have different options, and you just click on the boxes that apply to you. And I also love that if there's maybe a word or something that you don't understand what it is, it will have a little question mark right next to the word that you can hover over or click on, and it will provide more information on what that is. So I just really love it. You can then save where you're at if you aren't done with making your birth plan, and once you're all done, it will send you an email of your completed birth plan, and you just print it out and it's all ready to go. So I'm super excited about this. Rather than having women write out what they want and having to type it up and all of this stuff, they've just made it so much easier, and have thought of all the questions that you should be asking yourself. So anyway, you'll have first exclusive access if you fill that out, and not only that will you get that first access, you'll also get a growth chart from Americord. I don't know if you can see it. So awesome. So yeah, free growth chart. Really cool for you and your little one, and first access. So anyway, I'm really excited about that. I'm actually going to do one for my birth, so I can't wait to kind of tell you a little bit more about that when I get that going. So anyway, wanted to tell you about the link and about Twitter. If you guys are on Twitter, ask questions, and we'll kind of get started. I hope you guys are ready. Let's talk birth plans, okay? Awesome. So the first thing with a birth plan, my questions that people ask me is, when should I be working on my birth plan? When should I have it ready? When should I be thinking about all of this? And I normally recommend my clients to start looking into it during their second trimester. That's when things are becoming a bit more real. But it really, you should finish, I recommend no later, you should finish your birth plan no later than 34 weeks. Just in case if baby decides to show up early, you want to have that done and completed, printed out and ready to go in your hospital bag or your birthing bag, ready to go. So you don't want to wait too long. So have it done for sure no later than 34 weeks, but I normally recommend start working on it in your second trimester and finishing it in your early third trimester. So if you're in that time frame, this is the time when you need to be working on your birth plan as well. So I'm in my second trimester. I'm now 20 weeks, so it's my turn to do it as well. So I'll be joining you right alongside. So anyway, that's when you should be working on it. Now, when you first fill it out, the very top, it's going to ask you questions when you first sign in. Like, obviously it needs your name, it needs where you're having your baby, who your doctor is, who your pediatrician is, if you have a doula, what's your doula's name. So then that way they have all the information of you and the people that are providing care for you during your birth. So you want to have all of that filled out, and you also want to make sure that you talk to people when you are filling out your birth plan. So a question is like, who should help me when I'm working on this birth plan? So normally I recommend it's just you and your husband, talk about it, see what's important to you, that sort of thing. But when you have some questions, maybe you're like, well, what is an episiotomy? Or when can I learn more about IV medications, things like that? Definitely talking to your doula. If you have a doula, I highly recommend talking to her, because she will be able to really break things down for you and say, okay, these are the different options that are available. Here are the benefits and risks for each thing. So I, as a doula, like I said, I've helped so many women prepare and make their birth plans. But if you don't have a doula, another person that I would recommend talking to is maybe your childbirth educator. So maybe you're taking a Bradley class, and those are usually between 6 and 12 weeks. Talking to your instructor and seeing, does this look about right? Am I forgetting anything? What do you think about this? They're a great person that's outside of the hospital, that's doesn't have any biases or ulterior motives. That's someone that you can talk to and can really help you with that as well. So if you're taking a hypnobabies class or that sort of thing, I recommend doing that. So definitely those are the people who should be getting involved. Just you and your partner doing your research on that, but asking your doula or maybe your childbirth educator more questions if you're needing more information. More than likely your doctor won't have too much time during your prenatal visits. I know that most of them are rushed, but if you do have time, then yeah, ask your doctor or your midwife. Midwives usually a lot more time during your prenatal visits. I know with my midwife, when I go to my visits, she gives me usually an hour for each visit, so I'm able to ask her any and all questions that I have. So that's another great person to ask if you are not sure about a few things when developing your birth plan. So that's really good. So when you're making your birth plan, you have to definitely, again, it's not something that you would just fill out and then be done. Most people need to really think about it, because there are some important decisions that you have to make that you want to fill out and check off on your the boxes of what's important to you. So one of the first things is to determine, do you want to do an unmedicated birth or do you want a medicated birth? So if you're wanting unmedicated, what are some of the things that you are wanting to do during your unmedicated birth? So are you wanting dim lights or lights off, or hydrotherapy or aromatherapy or massage or counter pressure? There's so many different things that you can do to try and keep yourself comfortable throughout your labor process and have your baby. So again, even on Americord's template, I was filling things out and looking at things, and I was really impressed that it really thoroughly, once you say, okay, I want unmedicated, another tier will drop down and it'll say, okay, which other methods do you want to do? Do you want hydrotherapy, aromatherapy, all of these other things? So I loved that it takes the guesswork out of all of that for you. So that was really cool. But if you are wanting a medicated birth, so what type of medication are you wanting during your delivery? Are you wanting IV pain medication? So maybe you just want, a little bit of Demerol or something when things get really tough, or you're just super tired and you need a little bit of a break. Or maybe you're wanting an epidural. So yeah, you want to talk about that, when you should get it during your birth. I know we've talked about these kind of things in my previous videos of when is the right time to get an epidural. So yeah, so you'll want to talk about when you'll want an epidural, when is the best time for you and baby, because if you get an epidural too soon in labor, especially for first-time moms, it can, if you get it too soon, it can increase your chances for a C-section. So we want to make sure we get it at the right time. So talking to your support people and your medical providers about that is really important. So making those decisions. So that's a really important decision that you have to put on your birth plan. Another thing is those comfort techniques. So yeah, are you using the pain medication or the comfort techniques that I just listed? So are you gonna do certain positions that are important to you? Do you wanna be able to walk around? When you're walking around, then are you doing intermittent monitoring? So that's another option that you need to really think about. What are the interventions that you're okay with using and the ones that you're not okay with? So one intervention is monitoring. So do you want intermittent monitoring? Do you want continuous monitoring? That's external. Or do you want internal monitoring, consistent all the time, right on baby? But if you're wanting to walk around, that's external, and maybe they have wireless monitors at your hospital, maybe they don't. So really understanding what's available at your hospital is also important, which your midwife or doctor or doula should be able to answer those questions as well when you're completing your birth plan. So again, when you're on Americord's template, you can fill these things out, but if you're not sure, you can save it, ask these questions, and be able to come back and fill in the answers later. Or you can even, it's not on just desktop, you can do it on your phone or your tablet, so you can do it when you're meeting with them in person as well. So that's pretty cool. So I like that. So yeah, comfort techniques, interventions, maybe interventions that you're not okay with. Maybe you're not okay with anyone breaking your water at all, ever. You want it to be spontaneous. Or maybe you're only okay with breaking the water when you're 8 centimeters or higher. So yeah, really thinking about those things that are important to you. Maybe interventions you're just absolutely no, I don't want any Pitocin. Pitocin is the synthetic form of oxytocin. So that's the drug that they use through an IV to stimulate more contractions. So some women just are like, absolutely not, I don't want to do that. I would rather do aromatherapy, walking, squats, lunges, pressure points, nipple stimulation, things like that to try and get things going before immediately resulting to Pitocin. So again, I love that it's going to break down what are some of the interventions that you're okay with and some of the interventions that you're not okay with. And obviously, a birth plan, I always tell people that, these are birthing goals. We have to be flexible as things go along with birth. We can't say, oh, this is exactly how it's going to be. We have to kind of take things as they come. And a birth plan is a really great tool to educate yourself on the things that are available to you and your experience, so that way you're happy with your experience. So interventions. Also, something that you want to put on there after the baby's born is delayed cord clamping. Is that something that you're interested in doing? So delayed cord clamping is when the baby is born, normally what we've done is immediately clamp the cord and have dad or whomever cut the cord, right? Well, now there has been more evidence being shown that delaying that clamping, allowing more of the blood from the placenta to get to baby after the baby's born, shows a lot of benefits. So people are delaying and not doing immediately the cord clamping. But then some people are like, but wait, I really want to do cord blood banking. I've picked out my my cord blood bank. So I've chosen Americord. I'm going to save my baby's cord blood, but I really want to be able to do some delayed cord clamping. Can I do both, or do I have to choose one or the other? But actually you can do both, which is really great. So you can delay the cord clamping from 1 to 3 minutes, but after 3 minutes you want to clamp, and then that way the doctor or midwife can get some of the cord blood that they need for storage for banking, so you can put that in your kit and have that for your little one. So you can do both. I wanted to make sure that people knew that because I personally will definitely delay cord clamp, but I love knowing that with Americord, you can also do the banking as well. So I love that. So putting that in your birth plan, so then that way your care provider knows, okay, I need to have the kit close by once the baby's born. I need to be prepared. So that's definitely something you have to include in your birth plan of what you're going to be doing for cord clamping or not. Another thing after the baby's born that you need to include is, are you breastfeeding or are you bottle feeding? So some moms are like, I am exclusively breastfeeding. I don't want to do anything else. So do not offer my baby any formula, any sugar water, any pacifiers, anything like that. But then some moms are like, you know what, if my baby's blood sugar is too low, I'm okay with you giving the baby formula. Or maybe you have an emergency C-section that's unforeseen, and you say, well, what I would like to do is be able to breastfeed on the table if I can, or if something's wrong with baby and the baby needs to go to the NICU, I would like to pump right after surgery and be able to give my baby my colostrum, which is the first milk that you develop, and give my baby colostrum instead of using formula. So these are other things that are really important to include in your birth plan. And can you already see, just by these few things that I'm bringing up, there's so much to cover. So again, having a template to be able to walk you through so you don't have to remember all of these different points is super helpful. But if you're okay with bottle feeding, then great. You just mark that off and say, I'm okay with this formula. Please let me know when baby needs to be fed, or maybe you're gonna have the baby room in with you the whole time, so they need to have the formula ready for different feedings, that sort of thing. So it's just keeping your whole team around you, the medical staff, your family members, your doula, everyone on the same page, so everyone knows what you want to make this the best experience for you for welcoming your baby. So the other thing that you definitely need to include is, what are you doing with your placenta? Because once you push a baby out, sometimes people think, oh, that's it, I'm done. But actually not. You still have to push out the afterbirth, which is your placenta. So do you want that to be assisted, or do you want that to, do you want to do that on your own? So that's something important to ask. And then once, the placenta is out, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to keep it and maybe encapsulate it and be able to use it in that regard? Some people, for religious reasons need it. Or are you going to bank it? Because if you didn't know now, you can actually bank your placenta tissue, because they have shown that there are so many great stem cells in there that obviously it's part of you. It's 100% connection with you. So if anything in the future that you need, those stem cells are there and available for you. So, and also with the cord, you can even store cord tissue. So it's not just cord blood banking anymore. You can do cord tissue banking, and you can do placenta tissue banking, which is really cool that there's so many different options out there that can really help save you, your babies, and their siblings. So I love that. That's really cool. So those are something that you really need to think about. What am I going to do with the placenta? So are you going to bank it? Are you going to take it and encapsulate it? Or are you going to donate the cord blood, or are you going to just toss away the placenta? So there's so many different options, and letting your care provider know what you're going to do with it is really important, so they don't just throw it in the trash and you're like, wait a minute, I was planning on banking that. So including that in your birth plan is also really important. So, and then let's see, the other things that you need to know is baby immunization. So a lot of people don't think about what is going to happen after the baby's born. So there are some immunizations that happen. So the first thing is that they'll put baby the eye ointment, which is called erythromycin, and some people just refuse. They don't want that in their baby's eyes. Some people say, I like that delayed, because I want to be able to bond and breastfeed with my baby first, and then once that has been established, then you can do that. Or some people are like, sure, immediately after birth, you can go ahead and put that eye ointment. So do your research, talk to your doula, talk to your childbirth educator, see what is the best option for you. But you do want to include those things. Other things that they will do is the vitamin K shot and the Hep B shot. The Hep B shot is also something that some women will say, I don't want to do it right now, I'll do it later, maybe tomorrow, or they'll do it at their pediatrician's appointment, or you can do it immediately after birth. So again, it's whatever you prefer, and do your research and figure out what is best for you and your baby. So those are the big things. Guys, I've covered so much already. So I hope that this is really answering a lot of questions about your birth plan. And if you have any additional questions or things that you are working on for your birth plan, please be sure to add your questions and comments below, because we want to be able to answer those. Like I said, I've helped a bunch of families build their birth plans, so I want to make sure that we can help even more families feel even more prepared for their births.
Nina, we have a question from Sheila. She said that she's still trying to decide on a company, and does Americord bank both stem cells and tissue?
They sure do. They do bank the blood and the tissue, so you can be sure that you have both. And I love that they take care of that, and also their pricing is extremely competitive. So along with their extremely kind and amazing customer service, I've been very, very happy with my experience thus far. So you should definitely check into it. So I love that they do both. But thanks for joining, Sheila. Perfect. Guys, this is awesome. I just wanted to remind you, below we have attached the link for you to have exclusive access to Americord's interactive birth plan template. I think it's awesome. Rather than having to scour the internet and find a template that tries to cover everything, print it out, check out the things that you want, and then finally have to type up what you want on your birth plan, because you're not just going to bring a thing that has some check marks and some things left open. This will do the work for you. It asks those questions, it consolidates everything that you want into your plan, they email it to you, and you can print it out. Another question people do ask me is, how many birth plans should I have? And I always recommend having more than one, because if you lose one, or if the doctor who was reading it before misplaced it, or maybe there's a shift change or something like that, you want to make sure that your doula, your nurse, your doctor has access to it. So I recommend printing out a couple of them, so then you're never without. So definitely, because we want to make sure if there is a shift change and you have a new nurse, that she's also on the same page as you are and understands exactly what it is that you want to make this the best experience for you possible. So again, if you go to the link below, fill in your information, you will have first access to their interactive template, and you will get their, as I do it backwards, their growth chart, which is super cute, that you can put in baby's rooms. So I love that. Guys, thank you so much for joining. I hope that we get more questions along the way. We'll be sure to answer those questions as we go. So we'll be checking here and there and letting you know what we can help with. And I hope you found this really helpful. Thank you so much, Americord. Also, if you're on Twitter, the Ashmore's blog will be answering your questions there as well. So we've got you covered. But until next time, guys, thanks again. Have a great day.